Hey, so you can hear me too?
I can hear you, yeah.
And is it sounding better than it normally sounds?
Hold
It's
on a
gotta
second.
be, right?
Hold on. Say that again.
Like, does my audio usually sound this good? Or does it usually sound worse?
No, it sounds good. It sounds about the same.
Okay, because usually I give you my desktop audio, but this is, I guess I can use my mic on both now, somehow. There's been an update that I wasn't familiar with.
Okay.
Because before I could only stream on OBS with my good mic, and I was giving you my shitty mic.
Nice.
But now
Thank,
it seems to work.
thank you.
Yeah. Well, that's what I told you in the past. I was like, hey, can you deal with it? And you're like, yeah, it's fine. I could deal with it. But I just noticed they're both on now on the same stream. So we're chilling. And we are live.
Oh shit, we're live. We're
And we
live.
are live.
Hurricanes MMA number 17.
Number 17, boys. UFC 312 preview. UFC Saudi Arabia recap. Conor McGregor, Bryce Mitchell controversy. We're getting into all of it. And you know, right off the bat, I hear Sean Strickland's got a little
Little staph infection?
scary photo going around.
Yeah, yeah,
We'll
yeah.
see. Time will tell. We got a press
Yeah,
conference
okay,
tonight.
what are we gonna happen? If he loses, oh, I was on antibiotics, I had the staph infection, but I wanted to fight for you guys, but I wasn't at 100%.
Yeah.
Who was the last person that had that staph infection and then they ended up losing?
Um,
Was it Leon?
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Merab people thought he had a staph infection, but we think it was something worse. Like he
Well, Rob
fell on a
won.
rock or something. Yeah, Merab won though.
Right. It was someone else
This is
who
tangled
lost.
up mess.
Someone else that lost.
All right, so man, what to get into? Been a couple weeks. We missed last week. I was a little bit under the weather, so I'm feeling better now.
Got you.
Yeah,
Welcome back.
thank you.
Welcome back to society.
Right, thank you. Feeling better, feeling better. That rest is important. I don't have like a lingering cough because I feel like I took the right rest, so chilling now. I guess we could talk about what UFC Saudi Arabia real quick. Just wrap that up.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
What'd you say? Izzy's done?
Izzy's done, kind of. Wouldn't you say? I mean, or that's just the
Who
title.
have? Who
That's
did
just
you
the title.
have? Who did you have winning prior?
To be honest, I had Izzy,
Ooh.
and to be honest, I lost like all my bets. I also had Shara.
Sorry, disappointed actually.
Yeah, Shara was a little bit disappointing,
Yeah, I was.
but
Li-
go ahead.
How did you have him winning? Did you think it was gonna go to a decision?
I thought that Izzy was gonna outclass him because he's got that kickboxing background with like a guy like Pereira. I thought it was gonna be a skill gap, and I didn't
Mm.
really think like decision or knockout, but I was probably leaning more towards the decision or something. What did you think? You thought Nassourdine was gonna take it?
I went Imavov. I
Okay.
thought he was in a nice little like he had some good steam behind him. I thought that he's younger.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the steam and like the his momentum is a good word. His momentum going into the fight and his youth was gonna get him the dub. But I thought it was gonna be a good challenge. But now after seeing everything, it's one of the I'll raise this question to you,
Mm-hmm.
to Perry Punch here. These legends, they're falling, and what happens if Izzy loses again? It almost gets like to a point where it's like, oh man, dog, you should have just retired.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of this is the beginning of the end, I think. When you lose a fight like this to
The way you
Nassourdine.
lost it, yeah, knocked out by Pieta, the way he got dog walked by fucking is Sean, choked out by DDP,
Mm-hmm.
not fucking knocked out by fucking Imavov.
Yeah.
Knocked out, but he got fucking rocked.
Yeah, and it's tough. So I think Imavov is also pretty good though. And I think this is gonna be he's only 28 years old,
Exactly.
which
He's in
is
his prime,
crazy.
bro. He's in his prime.
So we really are seeing like the beginning of Imavov.
Yeah.
And I can't even believe he fought Strickland like 2 or 3 years ago at this point.
Is that the fight he lost to Strickland, right?
He lost to Strickland, yeah.
Was that the
But
one
like
that Strickland knocked him out?
it was a
Was that a
decision, I
decision?
believe.
Okay, if it was a decision, then it was a different one that I was thinking that.
But he was only 26 then, you know,
Yeah.
and Strickland
Yeah.
was like a full grown man in the UFC for like over like 5, 6 years already.
Right.
And for him to go to a decision in a main event against Strickland, even though he lost,
You held your own.
you know,
You held your own.
Yeah, for sure. I'm saying that like ages really well, you know.
Yeah. Yes,
So
you
I
do.
think we're seeing the beginning of
You're right. It was
Imavov
a
in a way.
decision. It was a decision.
It was a decision, right?
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
he KO'd uh Cannonier. He went toe to toe with Allen. I thought Allen was gonna get that fight. So I mean, the resume, he's not fighting chumps. He beat Joaquin in a decision.
He did.
That was that he lost to Paz back in 2021, but that's been a minute. He's a whole different fighter from then.
Yeah. How old
And he
was he in
lost that decision.
2021?
Yeah, and he lost the decision to Sean Strickland. Which Sean Strickland, he does what he does though. Like now you go in there. Anyway, go ahead.
So, I mean, I guess, I don't really have too many takes, but if we're going to go on Izzy, I've been hearing a lot of people say, like, no more title contention fights, number one. And
Yeah,
number
dude, how
two,
can you give it to him?
yeah, and no, definitely no more main events. So, a lot of, like, DC's calling for him to go 3 rounds in, like, a co main event on a pay per view or something.
And this is why I think it's sad, bro. Like when I see this, it's almost like how when I saw Anderson Silva, who I was goated, bro. Like I would admired him, bro. Like fuck, when I saw the downfall of Anderson Silva, that's how I kind of have the feeling with Izzy right now.
Like, when he lost to Bisping and shit, I never expected Silva to lose to, like, a guy like Michael Bisping.
But it just that downfall, bro. He was the greatest of all time, bro.
I
Like he
agree.
still has those championship, bro. Like he has the record. I think John Jones has the more records right now. But the way he was knocking motherfuckers out, bro, it was crazy.
The
It was
GOAT. The
oh
GOAT.
dog, it was crazy. But then when you see that, oh, he lost this one, and then it's like 37, 38, it's like, bro, I wish he would have retired.
Hmm.
And that's kind of how I feel like Izzy is at right now. And you know what? Oh, this is what someone told me, bro. Listen to these two takes. I think you're gonna like this.
Okay.
And let me know if you agree. Do you think it's getting easier for Izzy to eat these losses?
Um, I guess to answer that, right? And I'm curious where like the angle is on this question because the question could go both ways. But I'll have to say, based off how I'm interpreting it, it is getting easier for him, and I
Right?
don't think that's a good thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's getting easier for him to swallow that. Like, but you know, down deep, he got to be irking him, bro.
It irks him,
He
but
puts a good face on,
yeah, but it doesn't irk him as much as it used to.
and you're living a lot more lavishly now.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Because you
here's
have that to fall back on. It's like I lost, but my life is good. So hey, man,
and I'm
let
the
me shake
GOAT,
your hand. Yeah,
and I'm the go. You know what I mean? He got me. Okay,
it
cool.
doesn't sting as bad.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't sting as bad. That's a good way.
And I
And
guess
then,
that's part of his success, just to finish it. That's part of his success, so good on him there. But I don't think that helps you moving forward fighting killers.
right. And so
Yeah.
then someone told me he was all like, and the sharks are circling. There's blood in the water. And he goes, look at the 4 out of 5. I was like, bro, you're fucking right.
Hmm.
Because now who do you give him?
Well, they're calling for a guy like Brendan Allen, who just lost to Nassourdine.
But Brendan Allen's he's fighting Anthony Hernandez.
He is.
That's like in a month or
And I think Hernandez wanted Izzy after his win, did he not? Did he not call him out?
so. And I think that's a good one. It's like if he beats Brendan Allen, yeah, give him Izzy. But I
Yeah.
think he mashes Izzy.
I mean, at this point, right? Izzy's kind of aging
Bro,
out of
bro,
the
he-
division.
bro, he'll take Izzy down and choke him bro. Izzy don't want to see Anthony Hernandez on the ground, dog.
And I mean, that's the same argument with Brendan Allen. At this point, Brendan is so matured in his career. You know, he's also taken a loss to Sean Strickland early on. And so at this point, I think with his maturity and his grappling and Izzy's age, I think it's evened out. You know, if there was any gap before, I think that gap has now evened out towards Brendan Allen's side.
And here's my thing. I think okay, we were talking about that Shara fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
To me, MVP didn't impress me. Yeah, you won.
Oh,
But-
yeah.
And it was almost like, okay, but you jumped up to middleweight. Now you're jumping back down to welterweight. What are you going to do? Go on a championship run? 38, about to be 39?
Well, he said he wants to fight Yuri Prohaska too, so it's like where you want to really be at.
But I mean, but bro, he's on the back 9. He's an entertaining fighter, but he's not knocking someone out. He's not choking someone the fuck out. He's not going for a title run. He's not gonna be a champion.
Actually, I heard he did say that. I believe at the press conference, he said he's like 1 win away from a title shot at welterweight.
Please,
Something
please,
like that.
bro. Please, he would need to put a 4-fight win streak in order to get it. He better do what Joaquin Buckley did last year.
Yeah, because he's thinking his win over Shara is gonna count towards his win streak to like
Shara's not
go
even
towards the
ranked
title.
anymore.
Yeah, so I think he's looking at that wrong, personally.
Completely wrong. And so here's the thing. So here, you want to give Izzy somebody? Give him MVP.
Okay. They're calling for the fun fights.
Yeah, the fans will like that. It's almost like a Legends fight. Both will stand. They both have very dynamic, like entertaining styles.
Neither are shooting for a takedown. It's a good fight.
It's a good match. And so they were okay. We were talking about Ariel pre-show.
Yeah.
They were saying give him Shara. I'm like, don't give him Shara. Shara's not even ranked, bro. That now you're even going back.
Shara doesn't deserve to be in there with Izzy.
Exactly.
He does not deserve it.
Thank you. And MVP fight showed that. And he said he was kind of low-key injured. Like, all right, cool, fine. And Shara's young, bro. He still got a lot. We're going to see him in 3 or 4 years. We're going to be talking more about him.
Apparently, word on the street, he might be considering retirement.
Shara?
Because his eye.
All right.
Yeah. I was watching Bisping's podcast, and they said that.
Interesting.
It's not confirmed, but there's like a rumor out there.
Yeah, I don't think he should. I mean, I don't know. It'd be crazy to fight with one. So more power to that motherfucker all day. But I mean, here full circle. He's in my I don't think he's beating Hamza. Hamza takes him down.
Come on, that's dirty.
He breaks his jaw, bro.
Yeah.
Imavov, it's interesting. Imavov moved past Hamza.
Imavov moved past Hamza.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right, didn't he?
So it's DDP, Sean Strickland, Imavov, Hamza, and then Izzy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so then you got Kyle Braholo sitting right there. Now that's another good fighter. I'm interested to see what he does.
Kaio has definitely been on the verge of a title shot for quite some time.
He gets one more good win. We're gonna be talking. He's dangerous. Anthony Hernandez gets this win over Brendan Allen. He's dangerous.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know who you really give Izzy. I
think you give him exactly who you said, MVP.
MVP, right? Yeah, it's a fun fight. It's a fun fight.
Unfortunately, like I just kind of said, Izzy gets it's a really hard matchup for Izzy to fight even the winner or loser of Hernandez versus Allen, right? Both of those guys can probably beat Izzy right now. I'm just gonna say it because of the grappling too. Yeah. So I think the MVP fight's a better fight. Not only will MVP not shoot, but they're both strikers anyway. They're both older in their career. If you're calling for a fun fight, that's really the fun fight. Those are two names you could put on a co-main event. And you could do that one 5 rounds if you wanted to. And I think they would both be okay with it. Yeah. But with them being pretty old, I say give them 3 rounds because, bro, no 39-year-old and whatever the case wants to like train for 5 rounds anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's an interesting time to see what Izzy comes back because Izzy was saying all the right things before these past 2 fights, but the results were not what you were predicting were going to be.
And he seems to have put in the work, but the age, you know, I think that Pereira knockout
and the chin is getting a little bit more suspect.
I think that Pereira knockout kind of started it.
Yeah, and I think and it goes back to that the Sharks are circling a little bit. They're realizing his counter game, how to kind of maneuver around that. Because when he caught Alex, he countered, right? He stepped back. He kind of knew what was coming in. He clocked him. People are starting to realize, okay, we can just stay away from that.
Yeah. Now, I got a random thought for you. Is there any call, right? I would like to see it as a fan. If you throw merit aside and just think about fan-friendly matchups, I'd like to see Khamzat versus Nassourdine. Because you just said, you know, Nassourdine just surpassed Khamzat in the rankings, but on paper, in Dana White's mind, Khamzat's next for a title shot. He's confirmed it.
Right.
You know, sounds like there's a little bit of a discrepancy there on who deserves it. Maybe they fight it out, but you are eliminating 1 star.
Yeah, you know, that's interesting. They got some good options there. I think
who wins that fight?
Man, I honestly believe anybody that can stand the storm from Khamzat that first round has a chance. If they can withstand that bear attack and not get mauled. Yeah. Going to that second round, I think Khamzat slows down.
Because if you look at parallels too, right? This is random, right? But Nassourdine, right? Who took Khamzat to his 2 toughest fights? Gilbert Burns, and Kamaru Usman. Welterweights now.
Because
Nassourdine.
Kamaru looked good in that third round.
Yeah, but how does Nassourdine look against Kamaru at middleweight? Nassourdine's even bigger.
Oh yeah.
You think Khamzat's big? Nassourdine's bigger.
Yeah. I mean, he's gonna be more his size. Yeah.
An actual striker. He might knock out Gilbert and Kamaru.
And it's interesting too. Like if we think about Kao, was it? How do you say his name?
Kaio.
He's a big dude.
Another
That
big middleweight.
Is big too, dude. There's those two bears right there just going at it and shit. I think Kaio and Khamzat's a really good matchup.
Okay.
I like
Kaio has a fight though, right?
It's kind of my second favorite division here.
Yeah. Oh wait, Kaio's the backup this weekend. Is that official or unofficial?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Okay, well he's saying he's pretty much the backup.
How do we find out?
I've been hearing word of mouth. I hear the UFC actually doesn't really put it on paper like that a lot of the time. Yeah. But I heard from Kaio in like a couple posts he did on Instagram. He's basically saying he's ready, but some other people are saying it doesn't matter because both Sean and Dricus aren't the type of guys to pull out. But I think Kaio's there just in case. And I find it funny because he's also sparring Strickland like as we speak.
That's what she said, right?
Oh yeah, there you go. Okay, so there's 3 title contenders.
Hey, you like my new bell or what?
Yeah, it's like a cowbell.
Yeah, I have all these sound effects you can never hear. I was like, I'm gonna get something this motherfucker's gonna hear now.
Hell yeah! All right, but we got 3 title contenders because you just brought Kaio in the mix. If he really is a backup for this title fight, that means you're also technically next in line, right? Because historically the backups are the next up. Khamzat's been verbally promised, but if you're a backup, that's also a promise too. Then you got Nassourdine, who's literally the #1 contender. Very interesting. Somebody's got to fight somebody there, because one of those guys are going to get the next title shot, and those other 2 are going to have to fight each other.
And this is why it's becoming my new favorite division, is because this is almost the same thing that's going on in welterweights, the old guard versus the new guard, right? Which a lot of these old guards guys out now.
Well, because you got Whitaker, right? He's still up there. Paulo Costa's still up there.
Izzy, there's 3 right there. Going to become gatekeepers pretty soon.
Yeah. So maybe you don't put the young lions up against each other. You put them up against the Whitakers and the Costas.
But they're kind of at a point where they've almost surpassed them.
They have. They're higher than both of them in the rankings.
Yeah. It's almost like, what do you do with Anthony Hernandez if he beats Brendan Allen? And he gets a good win.
I say give him one of those former champion type guys. Yeah. Apollo, he's not former champ, but he fought for the title, or Whitaker. Yeah. I think you give Fluffy a sexy name.
And here's the other thing too. Like you got Cannonier fighting RoboCop. I'm going RoboCop all day.
Okay.
But Tori is fighting. They just announced that Roman Doldiz. You know what I'm saying, right?
The lead say
right. And then you got Anthony Hernandez, who's number 12. He's fighting Brendan Allen, who's number 9. I honestly think Anthony Hernandez is going to get it. So I think he wins that. He gets into the top 10. I think Marvin Vettori probably loses to Roman. It gets Roman in the top 10. And then you got Michael Pieta, who just lost to fucking Anthony Hernandez. Oh, and you know who they snuck in? Bo Nick.
Okay, yeah.
Wait, your boy. How did he sneak in?
He's popular.
Don't get me started on that shit, dude. Do not get me started. You don't even fight and you got in?
Yeah.
Bro.
Who's pulling the strings for Bo?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That shit was a little crazy.
They were dying to get him in that ranking, bro. Dying to get him in the ranking.
Curious to see what happens with that.
I blame MVP.
Why? Oh, because he
Because they put him at 15 because he moved up to middleweight. Like, how does he get 15 moving up and down? Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah, the rankings are wild.
Get the AI motherfuckers back on it.
I don't even pay too much attention to that, honestly, because it's like about names, but let's see how Bo plays it. Because if Bo's gonna start being like, oh, I'm ranked 15 and like, so I need a fight number like this, like that's gonna piss me the fuck off, kind of.
Can't wait for
you
that
feel
shit.
me? You feel me? Like, don't start flexing your fucking ranking on us all of a sudden just because they propped you up there. Like, we want to see you fight real names, real fights. Like, I don't give a fuck if it's like Kevin Holland or some shit. Like, I want to see you up against like a somebody.
So here is a good question. Izzy versus Bo, but that's too soon for Bo Nickel to do
Too
that.
soon. Too soon.
Soon. See, I give Bo Nickel
Ikram Aliskerov. This is what I'm trying to say.
or
Ikram's
Paulo
not in the
Costa.
rankings, right?
Or give him Paulo Costa.
Fair enough, but Ikram's not in the rankings. And that's a hard fight. So that's what I'm saying. Bo better not be turning down hard fights outside of the rankings just because they propped him up.
Oh, he's gonna get super picky, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Don't be doing that picky shit. We want to see you fight a good guy. I say fight Ikram.
Hey, so wait, who do you got? Vittori? You think he's gonna win that fight
Against Roman? Man, Vittori. He
hasn't fought in a couple years, right?
Yeah, he hasn't fought.
I'm thankfully you're back in.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah. I don't know. Vittori like has a way.
We got time to think about that. We got time to think about that one.
Wait a minute. Vittori versus Dolidze, that's a rematch.
Is it?
I believe Vittori beat him the first time.
Okay. Well, then you saw Vittori too. He didn't even know he was fighting. He thought he was fighting Kopolov.
Yeah, why aren't people announcing that as a rematch?
And Kopolov's good too. But you know who Kopolov lost to?
Who?
Our homie Anthony Hernandez.
He did.
Dude, Anthony Hernandez is the homie, bro. I can't wait to set that interview up.
Yeah. Maybe I can get him on.
Yeah,
sometime, after this fight.
He's just, bro, he smokes and shit. Like, just when I hear him talk, bro, he's super SoCal too, dog.
Yeah, so, Vittori beat Dolidze, unanimous decision. So they're rematching.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I guess, you got anything?
Right? We're good, right?
Yeah.
We got everything out. Let me think if there was any highlights to Faraz Ziam. Watch out for him. Lightweight. He's on my.
That was a good fight.
He's on my.
Interesting fight.
Yeah, who was another guy? There was a couple. Just to give a quick shout out before we move on. I just want to look real quick. Oh, there's the Rosenstruck out by the Michael M page. We already talked about that one. Vincius Oliveira. That was a good fight. I thought it was really close though, but the Faraz one I really liked, and yeah, those are the ones I'll highlight. Oh, Jasmine too. Shout out to Jasmine.
Shout out to Jasmine.
Terrence McKinney got a win again.
Shout out to Terrence.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, good win.
Yeah.
I think so. I think furthest back to talk about would be Bryce Mitchell and McGregor.
Well, where do you start, Bryce?
So let me just start this one off, right?
You want to go? Go.
Not even like in that sense.
I'm with it.
Not even like in the sense of like starting it off, but I was really gonna say, let me start off before I even make any comments and say that I'm not that well versed in World War II and like Nazi Germany and all these kinds of things, the Holocaust. I'm not well versed.
Okay.
My main take is pretty basic, I guess you could say. It's just like there's no need to really share those thoughts if you're Bryce. You know, my issue is like do all your stuff, but stop trying to perpetuate it on other people. That's my biggest issue. And I know people like Bryce who have gone down these rabbit holes, and every time you come over and hang out with them, it's the same old bullshit, a new conspiracy they're like finding out about. And you just, in your mind, you're like, all right, how do I like get this guy to shut up? Like, make sure not to ask any follow-up questions. Like,
you're not saying anything, and they keep going like, bro, just fucking...
Yeah. Okay, change the subject at all fucking opportunities.
Yeah.
It's facts. Like, be like, hey, like, I want some pizza. You want some pizza? Let me order some pizza real quick. Like,
well, you know
anything.
Who started the pizza conspiracy at fucking Pizzagate? Like, oh, fuck.
Fuck, not this one again.
You know what I mean? They'll find another one.
They'll find every little excuse, and it just, like, drives you crazy. So that's my biggest thing with Bryce. It's like, you can think what you want, but stop perpetuating it on people. And just so you know, Bryce, like, you're pretty much, like, wrong about some of the shit you said. Like, I don't know very much. But to say you would go fishing with Hitler, he wasn't some motivational speaker like you're making him out to be, bro. I've heard the arguments about that. Like, people have, like, translated his speeches, and they're like, oh, he was, like, a motivational speaker. Like, the stuff he was saying wasn't so racist. It's like, dude, come on. Like, everything he was responsible for, like, all the dead lives on his watch, let's call a spade. You don't need to translate a speech and try to like pull straws. You feel me? Yeah. I feel like you're pulling at straws, trying to find anything to excuse something. Again, it's all conspiracy theory type weird shit.
And I'll say this, just to kind of ride that. I mean, I have one thing I do love is history, and the I kind of I like what Sean said yesterday too. Besides all his other antics, about basically, there's people in this world that they went to Facebook University, they went to Instagram University, and that's where they're getting all of their knowledge from. And the part of the country that Bryce is in, and I told you this before, like, he to me he's like, he's a redneck almost, bro. Like he's ignorant, and he's raised in a part of the country where a lot of people think that way, bro. And if you don't go outside of where you're from and get a bigger perspective, you're always gonna have that mindset. And down south, bro, that shit, the racism there is real. That's not a joke. That's to this day is real.
Yeah.
You add Hitler on top of it, you don't really know what he's talking about. So sometimes when I hear him talk, it's cringe, like talking, bro, he doesn't believe in gravity. He thinks the world is fucking flat. He now talks, there's too many things to go down the chain. So I don't even take it into like, okay, bro, cool, good to know. Keep it pushing. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna be over here. But big picture, it's wrong though. It is wrong.
What's wrong?
Because he has a platform that people are gonna listen to him, and they're gonna be like, yeah, you're right, you're right. I'll give you an example of Sean.
He's trying to do that with his followers. Let's not act like that's not why he always puts it out there. He's trying to like,
but
change.
I'll give you another
perspectives.
example. Sean Strickland, right? A lot of things Sean Strickland says, I don't think he really agrees with it. I think he does a little bit, but he really does it. But it's so harmful to our society because all it takes is a weirdo online that read something that Sean said, that's something that has to do with hate, something that has to do with the hate speech, something towards racism. And that guy can react to someone in his neighborhood or something that he has in his little community, and he harms them. It has a chain effect, and they have a responsibility if they know it or they don't know it. John does definitely know it. He's not dumb because he's touching millions of people.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting, like,
because there's gonna be people that says, "Oh, Bryce was right."
There
free
are
speech, free speech.
There
say
are.
whatever the fuck you want.
But I will say this too, as a devil's advocate, so to speak. Like anybody who's looking at Sean Strickland and Bryce Mitchell as your fucking like god, you know what I mean? Fix that shit ASAP. You know what I mean?
Let's start there. Yeah.
Yeah, they're spewing their thoughts, and they might not always be accurate. So just tread carefully if you're viewing them as your fucking god and you're like your Lord and Savior. So.
And just to give a little like education to some of people out there, and you can come at DJ MTK. You don't. This is MTK MMA homie.
All right.
Hitler rose through power after World War I because they had to sign a treaty and give up a piece of Germany. During that time, their nation was divided with different parties. Like, how we have the Democrats here and the Republicans here?
Mm-hmm.
There, they had like 20 parties, bro, after World War I.
Okay.
That was the catalyst. And Hitler wrote the book, his manifesto, in jail. And when he got out, he became part of the Nazi party.
Okay.
And so you had like the Republican Party, you had like this party, you had that party, you had that party, you had that party, you had that party. But they realized that he was a really good orator. He was a good speaker.
Mm-hmm.
If he would have channeled that energy into something else, he could have been Tony Robbins. So I agree with people when they say he was a great speaker, bro. He understood how to take something and rise it.
Mm-hmm.
And the people behind him knew that as well. A lot of what they did was fucking like crazy, bro. Like the planning they put into it, but the way they pointed into the direction of hate towards a certain religion and a certain people, and evidently, the genocide that happened after that in World War II and everybody that they ended up trying to dominate. That's a whole that's some fucking crazy shit, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy as fuck.
He did what you're saying was almost like what you're kind of saying people might do, like listening to Sean Strickland, so to speak.
On a mass
on a
level.
mass level. Yeah.
Because he was invading countries. He was trying to take over the world.
Hmm.
Literally, he was almost achieving overtaking the world, bro.
Yeah.
Like literally, like he took over France, he took over Italy, he took over Poland, and when he started taking over those countries, he started taking all the Jewish people and putting them into concentration camps and murdering millions of people.
Hmm.
Like it's crazy.
That I think, yeah. What it sounds like a little bit is that just got like so out of hand as far as like trying to like keep this separation and putting these people in camps. It's like, dude, right off the bat, that sounds like people are gonna end up dying. Like you're not even
Yeah,
like
but it
looking
would.
at them as humans.
Oh no, not at all. And
Yeah.
and that's how they started, the Third Reich almost because of this. I mean, they had to cleanse the earth of all Jewish people,
Yeah.
and this was the master plan on how to do it. And it's bro, it's fucking mind-boggling what he did.
Hmm. So it's
You know,
like I think people a lot of times take that part of like how he was a great speaker and start to associate him with being a good guy. It's like I think he was a good speaker, but when you look at everything else that happened, you know what I mean? There's no really defense for him.
and what's interesting is the domino effect, bro. Without World War One, without that Germany having to sign the treaty, they forced Germany to sign the treaty. So a lot of people in Germany felt fucking what word do I want to use? Betrayed almost. Like,
Mm.
fuck, man, like, man, look what you guys did to our country. So they were able to he was able to rally votes around that. I hate to use Donald Trump's, I'm gonna make Germany great again almost.
Okay.
And people wrote on that. He just kept building it and building it and building it and building it until they were able to actually take over all the parties.
Mm.
And it became the Nazi party.
Yeah, the main one.
And then they said, hey, well, we're just going to take back a piece of land that they took from us in the treaty.
Okay.
Then they expanded. Oh, well, then they started really fucking going into people and fucking taking over countries. And that's when World War II started.
I need to look more into it. I gotta watch some more movies. Band of Brothers. I watched that when I was a kid with my dad, but I haven't watched that in a while.
He's a modern day like Genghis Khan or fucking whoever you want to say, try to take over the world.
Yeah. When I was in high school, like when they were shoving that stuff down my throat, I wasn't that interested. But now you kind of have me captivated. I'm just kind of like sitting back, like, damn, bro. Like I got even more questions, but I gotta watch a movie or something like that.
I've always been a big like historian guy. Every time I was in school, I always loved history and shit.
Hmm.
And it always interests me. Like he could have been, like I said, he could have been if let's say something else would have happened in his life and he became like a positive speaker. In life you have these roads that you could go this way or that way.
Hmm.
In his life, it went that way.
He took it down that negative route.
Down the negative to the bro, millions of people. That's crazy.
That is crazy. So with that,
Conor McGregor. Conor.
yeah, I'm just about to get into the other dirty fucking other side of the race baiting. Conor McGregor dropping the N bomb on Khabib. I don't know what the fuck's going on with
He
this
erased
guy.
that, right? He erased that, right?
Yeah, but he left that shit up longer than like all of his other tweets that he deletes.
You know what? One thing I think about some of these guys that say that aren't from the United States, who Vittori too, right? I don't think they realize how bad it is to say it because they're not from here.
I guess so.
To an extent, doesn't mean it's still not wrong, right? But I don't think they put it in perspective. Like, bro, you can't be saying shit like that, dog. Like,
I guess.
But he knows what he's doing though too.
He knows what he's doing. My question is like, why?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a bait.
Yeah, it's like for engagement. Like
It
Bryce
has,
just did it. Now you're doing it.
it has to be for engagement.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I guess Dana not saying anything about it. I think people are questioning that. I was trying to look for like devil's advocate reasons why maybe Dana wouldn't comment. And I will say that dropping the N-word isn't as bad as basically like trying to like discredit a whole entire like race of people almost being exterminated.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, there's levels to it, right?
So yeah, I think there are a little bits of levels.
Connor's kind of like here.
That's like if, for example, right, if Conor were to like deny slavery ever happened,
Mm-hmm.
Dana would probably have to come out and say something too, right? But
Would hope.
you would hope, right? You'd hope.
Yeah, I was surprised Dana came out and said something actually.
I wasn't, just because of the whole like how the UFC is owned by Jewish people. technically. I might be saying that wrong, but Ari Emanuel, the highest up on TKO, is Jewish.
Okay. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Yeah, I learned something.
So that's, remember I was telling you too, like people were also conspiracizing, saying like maybe that's why Bilal's not getting a title shot, because he's representing Palestine so heavily.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, with McGregor, I guess the only real development, because nobody said anything, and here's where Joaquin Buckley steps into play, because Joaquin was like, DC didn't say anything. DC's kind of like the representative black man on the MMA's community right now. And so Joaquin kind of called on him and said, you didn't say anything. And he called out McGregor for his, use of that word. And he said, if he basically runs into him, he's gonna ask him about that.
I mean, and I think it's almost like, bro, if you don't know, let me tell you. Like, if you don't know, you know what I mean? Now, if you do know and you're using it as a tool to like get more engagement and shit, like, come on, dog. Like, I 100% fucking agree with Joaquin.
If you're doing engagement, that's just like so low, bottom of the barrel fruit. I think like that's way below you.
Yeah, a piece of me
being McGregor, you're like the biggest star in the game. You don't gotta do that.
Ask this to Joaquin next time. A piece of me truly feels like some of the guys that aren't from the United States don't understand completely they know it's bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they don't understand the magnitude of why it's bad. They look at us like, we're not even from there and shit.
Yeah.
I
guess.
To an extent.
But for me, I wouldn't, if somebody from another country told me, don't call me this is like really bad, I personally wouldn't like minimize it.
Yeah, but Conor McGregor is a habitual line stepper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking he's Rick James.
I'll tell you what I think Joaquin would say, because I actually have a clip that I posted earlier today from the interview. I haven't released the full interview yet, but I'm posting some clips. Full interview will release on Sunday for everybody who wants to see it. But he told me, he basically said, these guys do it because they know they can get away with it. That's his opinion.
I agree with that too.
Yeah.
There's no one chin checking them.
Nobody's chin checking them, and he says that's why, so they think they can get away with it. They know it. So what's the consequence?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, he should, and he's right. They get too many people. Too many people are giving these dudes passes for shit like that. Like, dog, that's nah.
Should DC have said something? Because DC also came out, on his show on Monday, and he's like, "Hey, Black History Month. Let's like look over some fighters and like look back this month." So he's embracing it, and like I said, he's like the honorary. He's kind of the representative, right, for that culture. So should he have said something?
And I'm trying to think of just like other legends, like Rampage. Should say something.
Rampage is almost like so unserious. I wouldn't expect it from him.
Yeah, but down deep, like I don't know, bro. Like I can't speak for him either. You know what I mean? So like, but you know what? More respect for Joaquin for saying fuck it. Then I'll hold this.
I'll say it.
Yeah. What's up? What's up? What's up then? Just so you know.
Yeah. And what's funny, I also asked Joaquin. I guess not funny, but I asked him, I said, so should they put Conor up against like a black fighter? Because everybody's calling for Bryce to fight like Josh Emmett again and shit like that, or like Ilia Topuria, right? Mm-hmm. To get knocked the fuck out. And everybody wants to see Conor get knocked out for saying something like that. And he was like, yeah, put him up against a black fighter, put him up against me. But, the UFC's not going to make that happen.
Yeah.
But I was going to say too, though, with Conor.
And then Conor got spit in his face. In Vegas?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't, honestly, if I'm being real, right? I didn't post that because when I watched that video, I didn't see any spit. I saw the caption.
Yeah.
But if I'm being real, my own two eyes, I didn't see much.
He did kind of like that, and then he kind of walked away. He spit in your face, you didn't do anything.
I heard it. I heard him saying that. I did hear him say, spit in your face, you do nothing. Again, I didn't see much.
I mean, it kind of looked like he spit in him. Like, I don't know if it was like some big movie that looked big, but just when I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I don't know. But Conor and the whole Khabib thing, it's like over with. Like, I think he needs to just let that go.
And did that start because of the whole, what's his name that had lost to Nurmagomedov at the...
I guess, but like, you know what I mean? This shit's
Because of
been
the
going on
Irish
for so
fighter?
long, yeah.
Yeah,
And they're still carrying this past beef.
yeah. That's just Conor too.
Yeah, get over that shit, bro.
That's just Conor.
It's
I
kind
mean,
of getting tired at this point, if I'm being
yeah,
real.
Alexa, how old is Conor McGregor?
Conor McGregor is 36 years old.
About to be 37,
Damn.
probably. I mean, he's on the back nine too. Like eventually, all of this is just noise.
Yeah.
He's a great
Oh,
hype man.
right. This is what I was also gonna say though. Just because I don't think we fully touched on it. But Vittori, so Joaquin said, like, yo, like, you know, anybody who says this, like, you're gonna have to come see me. And then Vittori just drops it. You're saying, like, you know, he doesn't really get it because culture wise. But I guess on a different note of that, Joaquin's like, all right, Marvin, I'm gonna have to bless you when I come see you. So now there's some smoke there. They're gonna run into each other. And you know, although Joaquin's at 170 now, he used to fight at middleweight.
Yeah, and I think too, it's almost like, bro, like this isn't acceptable, dog. Like no one's gonna come out and say something. Fuck it, I'll take that spot and put the heat on me. Then I'll let these people know like this isn't acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like that part of it. You know what I mean? Where actually everybody they should Rampage should have said something. DC should have said something. You know anybody that's in that in you know part of that community should fucking be like, nah, bro, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah.
Just getting passes and shit, saying this type of shit. That's fucked up.
I did notice though, because you're saying people should be saying something. I noticed a lot of the this younger, I guess you could call it black generation of fighters in the UFC right now, were speaking up. The Phil Rose, the SD Dumases, you know what I mean? These guys were speaking up. Even Bilal's coach, Lewis Taylor, he spoke up too. So there were quite a few people speaking up. I think Sadiq Youssef was speaking up about it. Unfortunately, not the large representatives of the sport,
Right.
you know.
Right.
But a
And
lot of like the younger generation, they were kind of like rallying with each other.
And honestly, I'm surprised. To me, I think Rampage would say something,
Mm-hmm.
just because he's not.
I mean, we're talking about it. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah, exactly.
It's an obvious talking point. They are the representatives of the culture.
Yeah,
We're gonna talk about it. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, he likes to talk shit.
Yeah, it's an easy topic.
Easy topic. Rashad Evans,
So the fact that they kind of like even dodge around it,
John
that
Jones.
raises a question.
John Jones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if you look at Joaquin's tweet, it did like a million views.
Yeah,
Because you know that's a heavy topic.
great. Yeah, yeah.
So if you want that engagement too, I mean, there's no reason why you shouldn't even touch on it.
And
on that
Joaquin's
level.
Joaquin's not out of pocket for saying something.
No, if anything, he's in the right. He should have said something.
Exactly.
We're waiting on that.
And on Black History Month too. Like you're right. Come on, man.
That don't add up.
Yeah, you're better than that.
Yeah. So I guess we could talk about UFC 312 preview.
Okay.
And just kind of, or okay, before we do that, let's just mention something real quick that I saw yesterday. Kevin Lee got knocked out, and his training partner, I guess, posted the footage. Actually, I saw a video. The guy actually issued a statement. Have you heard it?
Kevin
Should
Lee
I play it? So Kevin Lee, he got knocked out.
Who is Kevin Lee exactly?
He's a former UFC fighter.
Okay.
He fought like Tony Ferguson for the interim belt.
Okay.
He lost to
He's an MMA fighter.
He lost to Renat a couple years ago. Fakhretdinov.
Oh, you know my boy Gabriel Bonfim's gonna fight Renat, right?
Okay, fair enough. So anyway, that's kind of who Kevin is. Let me show you a full send. My phone might die, but if it doesn't, we're hearing this for the first time.
Hey, Parry Punch is on 1%.
Video right now trending on internet. Bro, this is MMA gym, you know, can happen everything. Many time I got injury and my partner choked me and hurt me, I cut my eyebrow and all the stuff. I broke my leg, my hand in the gym. That's MMA gym. We're warrior. Will not get like each other mad, sad, nothing. Even my partner's trying to say sorry. I say don't be sorry. That's my bad. This is MMA gym. It's not dance club or somewhere. You know, we are a fighter. And also when we fight, our opponent like don't care about us. our opponent tried to ask, you know. And when happens something in the gym to me, I think, this can't happen in the gym, in the fight. Hello, everyone.
Bro,
And
he's yapping.
also, I don't supposed to like share everywhere that video. I didn't want that situation. Just I want to try explain what's going on there. He's my favorite partner because we always work each other hard. The hard work always is paid when you fight. That's our point. That was not my point. Hit him hard. That's flying knee coming. What should I do? Should wait and check that's light or hard? What do you think, guys? He's my favorite partner. We always work hard, and after work, I say him, brother, like everything good. He hit me hard. I hit him hard. I just didn't want like this situation happen. That can happen everyone. This even though this is part of the big part of our game.
This guy's yapping.
Honestly,
I'm gonna plug in my phone, so just give me 1 second.
yeah. Just you know, I'll kind of go on my own thing here. Like, honestly, I don't see what the big deal is.
What up?
I said, honestly, I don't see what the big deal is.
I guess the big deal is that it got posted. You don't care. I get, you know,
I just don't get it. Like, if it was Islam Makhachev, like, whoa.
I guess it's their, you know, if that's their workplace, right? That's like that's a rule.
Out of bounds.
Yeah.
I get that. I get that, but at the same time, like,
Yeah.
it happened.
It happened.
People are gonna get over it. Well, people are gonna get over it. It's gonna be yesterday's news and be like, all right, cool, whatever.
Yeah, I think, you know, it sucks to be Kevin Lee today.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be a big deal.
But that's part of the game.
It's part of the game. My thing.
Worse, Izzy or Kevin Lee?
Huh?
Who feels worse? Izzy or Kevin Lee?
Yeah, Izzy got knocked out on national TV. Right. So it is kind of like, dude, a knockout's a knockout's a knockout. Like, you get knocked out on national TV, who cares if it happens in training? I just personally think, and I guess you don't know Kevin Lee too well, but I think Kevin Lee should retire. That is not the Kevin Lee I saw in the UFC. Kevin Lee was actually a great fighter.
Alexa, how old is Kevin Lee, the UFC fighter?
Kevin Lee is 32 years old and was born on September 4th, 1992.
Oh, he's young.
Damn, he kind of like did not age very well. He must have been like 28 when he fought Tony for the interim title.
Yeah. I mean, it's not for everybody.
Yeah. Okay. UFC 312 preview, and then we'll get out of here.
All right.
Let me pull up the. Let's see if they got the weights.
Hey, you know what's funny? Everybody's shitting on the card. Not everybody, but a majority of MMA fans. UFC.
Yeah. So let's pull it up. You know, I love to shit on a bad UFC card.
Well, okay, here's my thing. I'll be your devil's advocate, right?
Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure you'll shit on it too.
Mm-hmm.
I've always said this before, and I'll say it again. We're spoiled. There used to be a time where you had one championship fight on a UFC card. One. Maybe every 3 months. We have two on this card. This main fight has so much magnitude and significance because it's the rematch, and Sean Strickland gets a chance to redeem himself, to leave no doubt in everybody's minds. It's like, oh, I got robbed. You now get to go out there and prove to everybody, yourself and DDP, that you truly did get robbed and get the belt back.
Mm-hmm.
The magnitude on that level is huge. Yes. We're so used to like, oh man, it's gonna be opening with this, and we're gonna get this, and then we're gonna get this, we're gonna get this. Yuri versus Jamal Hill, and then Marab versus who did he fight? Umar, and then we're just spoiled, bro. They're giving us two championship fights and a lot of guys on the undercard that are from Australia to see where they're gonna become in the next 6 to 12 months. Now, I do feel like UFC fucked up. They could have had Dan Hooker on this card.
Yeah.
They could have tried to have Alex Volkanovski on this card. They could have tried to had Carl France on this card. Imagine those 3 guys on this card opening up for these 2 title fights. Now we're talking, whoa.
All you need is one of those, really.
Okay, and so we're so used to that. We're so spoiled of getting that so many fight cards that this card, maybe didn't live up to that hype, but you're still going to see 2 championship fights.
Fair enough. And I hear your points.
Hunter, hire me.
This is what I will say, though.
UFC Media, I'm your guy.
This is what I will say for the fans.
Okay,
I'll speak for the fans here. Number one, I think a big issue is the price. As you constantly increase your prices every year, right, your product, in a sense, cannot diminish. You know what I mean? You're charging us for more. Like, I don't even know the total, but, like, if you don't even have an ESPN subscription, you got to get that first.
Right.
Which has also increased year over year. And then the pay-per-view price on top of that. So, you know, the fans, I think, from their perspective, that's why they are so maybe hard, saying, like, it's not worth it for me. It's not worth me to buy it because there's only this fight and the women's fight.
And I would agree with you on this, too. Like, if you had to go pay to see that fight, ooh.
Right, like a ticket, different story. Because those also
those aren't cheap. We saw what the LA one
800,
was.
500, you know what I mean?
And we saw what the LA one was.
Yeah. But I can also level and say, I personally, right, like if I take, like, you know, that's looking at all the business and everything, but I personally throw that all aside. I don't mind 1 or 2 big fights, right? I personally don't mind it. I think sometimes it's a lot to take in to have all these big names. Some people also get kind of like fly under the radar who maybe could have just been a main event on some other card, but the UFC wanted to stack this one up so heavy. You know what I mean? That happens a lot on pay-per-views where like really good guys are on there and they don't even get the publicity they deserve.
And they had so many good ones on the UFC 311. They could have probably took one of those. You could have put the Yuri Jamal one on this card.
Right, and they would have had more like publicity, but there was so much to cover on that UFC 311.
Oh,
so
yeah, bangers.
So with that said, you know, that's just a couple of the arguments, but I will honestly say this. I like Tatiana Suarez.
Yeah.
I like Zhang Wei Li.
You see what Sean said about her yesterday?
Yeah, Sean, you know, funny motherfucker.
She got autistic magic. I'm like, this fool.
He's like, that's his way of like selling her fight for her.
Yeah, that's his way of giving her flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was giving her flowers like she was on the short bus for real.
And I'm sure he got her like a few follows. I'm sure a few people clicked that follow button.
And you know what's funny, bro? Like, okay, so I got Wei Li.
Okay.
And but bro, when I saw her when on her media day, I low-key got a crush on her.
Tatiana?
Yeah, I love her mannerisms. I love the way she laughs about shit. And
I feel like a lot of guys would like fall for her mannerisms and shit. I noticed it too. She
has like this girly girl to her almost, like,
but like kind of goofy.
Very goofy too.
Kind of spectrum-y. Like Sean's not wrong.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
She even said it too. Like, I know a lot of hyenas like this, bro. Look. I know. Hold on. You ready?
Yeah.
In their own world, bro. So that it's oblivious to everything. Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, the World War III is gonna happen. Really?
No clue what's going on though.
No clue.
Yeah.
That was her, bro. So
That's
I see what Sean was trying to say. She goes, you know, I like to go shopping. You know, I went and got some coffee. This is a typical like hyena, bro. Just like on her day, just like, but she's a fighter.
Yeah, but she's probably never taken the time to even think about like how to sell fights and all this stuff. She's just in her own world, probably.
All in her own world, bro.
Yeah.
Like, but she does. She trains and
she trains. Yeah.
Very athletic. You know what I mean? She's doing all the right things to be a champion.
And
right?
she's a solid fighter for sure.
Solid fighter. So that's why this fight grew on me. Like, okay, I want to see what you do against Wei Li because Wei Li is a beast.
Wei Li's a beast, but don't be surprised if Tatiana goes out there.
Who do you got?
This one, I gotta say, I think I'm riding with Tatiana.
Woo, my guy.
Tatiana.
He's going with the hyena.
Let's go, Tatiana.
All
right. And I will say, too, Sean Strickland, DDP, to your point, great rematch. You know, this is something, let me say this, right? Let me say this. I think it needs to be said a little bit.
Okay.
Curious to get your take.
Okay.
Because I don't blame people, but I think a friendly reminder might be something where people get caught up in the moment sometimes, and a friendly reminder is like, you know what, maybe I'll take a step back. So Darren Till, off this Izzy loss, Darren came out and he said, look, I'm tired of people kind of shitting on guys like Izzy. Izzy's a legend, and you guys are shitting on him because you don't like his personality. So that takes away from his real good fighting style. Another person, and his personality's worse than Izzy's, I will say, Colby Covington. He's a good fighter, right? But he's got a terrible personality, and I think the fans overlook his fight style for the personality. Now, Sean Strickland falls into this category too. And I just want to kind of say, as much talking as Sean Strickland does, as stupid of takes as people might feel he has at times, Sean Strickland is a great fighter. DDP's a great fighter. And these guys will deliver a great fight on the level of Merab and Umar. Two guys who will always show up. They're in the primes of their career right now. So regardless of the takes, great fight, and everybody should tune in for a great fight.
Bro, I told Ray, I was like, bro, like, you know when you watch some of those main events, you get kind of the chills right when they're walking out?
Mm-hmm.
I know that's how I'm going to feel when they walk out.
Pereira, Prohaska type shit. This is that one.
I feel like you feel nervous a little bit for the fighters, you know?
Uh-huh.
And you see them walk out. It's going to be a very exciting fight, bro. It's a rematch. They really get to put their money where their mouth is. You know what I was saying? Bro, imagine this. Imagine DDP gets cut this time.
Yeah.
And we're seeing DDP bleeding. And we have to see him fucking dig deep to fucking try to, solidify his legacy and his win.
Yeah.
That would be fucking crazy.
That would be pretty crazy to see. What does Sean have to do in the rematch, though, in your opinion? Because you've seen the fight, right? You told me you watched it a bunch of times.
Yeah. And to me, here's a few takes, right? And I loved what Sean's coach said. Sean, we know you can spar. You come in here and you spar with everybody, but we need you to do this, this, and this in this training camp.
Mm-hmm.
We need you to stay or do now. Instead of having 4 hours of sparring, we're going to give you 2.5. And we need you to do 30 minutes on the ground. We need you to do 30 minutes of fucking kickboxing. We need you to do 30 minutes of grappling. I need to see a full fucking MMA arsenal from Sean Strickland to win this fight.
Okay. I like it.
Well, I mean, why are you not attempting to try to take people down?
Yeah.
He has a BJJ black belt, right?
He does.
And I get it. You want to stand and bang. Like, to me, okay. I'm gonna give Sean some more flowers right now.
Okay.
What I think Sean is excellent at, bro. He can see things before they happen. He's like, he already knows a leg's gonna come and he checks it.
Mm-hmm.
He already knows a hit's gonna come and he rolls with it. He's so reactive to how the fighter is gonna go. Like, he's seeing a step ahead sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I love that about them. But after the jab and after the Philly shell, what else do we have?
Yeah, mix it up more.
You have kicks. Where are your kicks at?
Yeah.
Like, I get it, you can check. I get it, you can block. I get it, you have a great jab. But if that's all you're doing, everybody's gonna just understand what to do to beat you.
Because there's only a few things to game plan for.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, do we really think Sean Strickland's gonna knock DDP out?
Not really. Not unless he kind of gasses him out or something.
But do you think DDP is gonna get gassed out?
Not necessarily. He never really does.
He has a Bilal. Him and Bilal are very like awkward, similar styles.
Mm-hmm.
DDP and Bilal and Merab all have this like Energizer bunny, like we were taught to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even Sean said he's like a retarded kid coming after me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that Sean has to match that intensity. And I said this earlier. I felt like after the first fight, Sean met his ultimate sparring partner.
Mm-hmm.
You love to spar. That's your fucking, fame to, glory, And now you found a guy that does it better, though.
Yeah, who can go all day with you.
But he's willing to mix in all the other aspects of the game.
Yeah.
He's willing to try to take you down and hold you there. Even if it's for 30 seconds, he got you down. He has to make you try to get back up. He's throwing leg kicks. He's throwing fucking body leg kicks. He's throwing head kicks. All those are parts of this game.
Right. No,
I want to see a head kick from Sean. I want to see a body kick from Sean.
I need to see that from Sean too.
Right.
And I need to see some wrestling from Sean. You know, I think he's got to kind of keep the pace up. You know, when you're ahead, I think you got to do a couple things to maybe pull ahead, you know, to really win the rounds. Like you said, I think, I don't know if it was DDP you're talking about. You were just talking about somebody today, though, who would like I think you were talking about DDP, who would mix in like a takedown at the end of these rounds.
Well, Bilal does that.
Bilal does that too.
Yeah,
The best fighters.
He took him down at the minute and a half before the end of the round, and he held him there.
Yeah, and that's what the best fighters do, right? They always go ahead and they do something big to win the round in the judge's eyes. So Sean, although he's super close and he's very technical and he might even edge out a lot of rounds, it's still close in the judge's eyes. There's not something very impressionable. So maybe he's got to work on doing things that are a little bit more impressionable. Like the teep kicks, not impressionable. A jab, not impressionable. You know, you're really relying on the judge's eyes to see that versus like making it clear in their mind, nope, Sean won that. Instead, you're relying on like their memory.
Bro, 6 takedowns versus 0.
Right. You did say it about DDP. You said DDP got the takedowns at about the end of each round, securing it, you know.
Right, and let me ask you this. I asked you if you thought Sean Strickland could knock out DDP. Do you think DDP can knock out Sean Strickland?
You know, Strickland's such a tough guy. I have a hard time envisioning that, to be honest.
But do you think it could happen?
Maybe by a shock.
I think he has power. I think DDP has power.
But I've never seen Strickland rocked.
Okay, I'm predicting a knockout in the 3rd.
So you think there's going to be a knockout?
Yeah.
Okay. See, here's where I might disagree a little bit because,
Sure.
you know, Sean is so defensive. They say that Sean doesn't really even overextend, and that's why he isn't able to make these like impressionable moments in the fight because he's so defensive minded. So we'll see. If he were to get knocked out, that's going to mean he's going to change something up and not be as defensive minded.
And I hope that he listens to his coaches because his coach came out. Who's his coach?
Nixick?
Yeah. He came out and he said, hey, we know you could do this really well, bro. Well, let's start. I need this 30 minutes from you to do this too. And I need another 30 minutes here to do this too. And I love that about Sean. He's that type of guy. He wants to go in the gym. He said something yesterday. There are moments I love, Sean. He goes, I love moments when I feel uncomfortable. And I was like, bro, that's so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a prime example. There are people like that's a TED Talk. If he wanted to, bro, he could be a great speaker if he talked about those things. He could use his platform to elevate people to become even greater than who they are.
Yeah, and he does do that, but he also does the other side too.
Right. That's what I mean. You know what I mean? Like he could use that voice for something even more.
Yeah.
But he did. But and it's in him. But he like. But yesterday when he said that, I was like, bro, like. You spoke to me because you're right. Because in those moments in your life when you're struggling and it's uncomfortable, you have to dig deep and really stand up to figure out who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was talking about that, because they asked him about, hey, you know, do you like it when you're not training? He goes, man, fuck. If you're not training for a fight, it's like, man, I really don't have anything to live for.
Mm-hmm.
A fight is what motivates him. Going to that training camp and going through the pain is what motivates him.
And that's what I would say too. That's why hopefully, right, that'll play in his benefit as far as not getting knocked out. Because I think he loves to fight so much. I think sometimes people get knocked out when they're over fighting. When they don't want to be there.
But you can't, and I just think DDP does have power. I think he has legit power in that division.
I mean, I'm not doubting that he has more power than Sean. Let me ask
you this. Who has more fight IQ?
I think Sean.
See, I think DDP. I think he's strategic when he goes in there. I think he has a game plan. He knows what he wants to do, and he knows if I could withstand these jabs and these assaults, I take him down, I do some kicks, I'm going to beat him.
Mm-hmm. You know, there's a good argument, for sure. Like, I think that the fact that you say DDP, I can't really tell you that DDP doesn't have better IQ than Strickland. I think they both got really good IQs, right? They're both former champions. This is what makes it such a good fight, is that you can't say.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
And
we get to see it, though.
Remember last time with Yuri? Yeah, and Yuri and Jamal, right? I was telling you, Jamal's more technical than Yuri, I think. Yuri proved my ass fucking wrong.
Oh, Yuri look good.
Yeah, so you can, these fights are so close, that's what makes it so good.
That's why I'm gonna watch this motherfucker like on my seat.
But
Like
let me say, so we're pretty much done. But I will
Yeah.
have to say that I don't think I'm gonna drop $80 for this one. I might have to go meet up with the homies, and cruise somewhere.
No Stream East.
Dude, those streams are shit. What have you been streaming on? You buy it or do you stream it?
I buy it. Yeah, I buy it. But I
Okay.
write it off at the end of the year.
I know. I'm actually working on that. I'm trying to get the LLC done in like the next month or something like that.
What was I gonna say? Because I think the last time yours froze, right? When we were doing the watch party.
It froze, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So wait, last weekend though. No, that was just Izzy. So you
ESPN
just
Plus.
watched that on ESPN.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. But
Hold on,
I'm probably
listen.
not gonna buy this card.
Listen to this. Who do you got? Chiefs or Eagles?
Oh, is that the Super Bowl?
Oh no, bro. Yeah, it's a Super Bowl. It's this Sunday. Wow.
I don't think you can bet against the Chiefs.
Patty Mahomes a beast. Now, Patty Mahomes is a legend.
How many years ago did the Chiefs beat the 49ers?
That was last year.
That was last year?
Yeah, I believe so. Let me think. Because they've won twice in a row. So maybe it was a year. I think it was last year. No, I think it was last year.
Okay, yeah. I mean, the Chiefs pulled that shit off in the fourth quarter.
You know what? You know why? Yeah, you know why he's a legend?
Who?
Patrick Mahomes.
Why?
Because when you give him the ball in the fourth quarter at the most crucial times,
He always scores.
always makes the right play.
Yeah.
And when you saw, think about this, the last game, this is why I love UFC and football, right? Because they're so comparable. The Buffalo Bills quarterback, Josh Allen, had a chance in the fourth quarter to make his drive, and he fell short. They gave the ball back to Patrick Mahomes, and what does he do? He just makes the right plays at the right time with everything on the line.
Yeah.
That's why Tom Brady's a GOAT. That's why Patrick Mahomes is becoming a GOAT. That's why Jordan was a GOAT. That's why LeBron is LeBron. Kobe was a GOAT. These guys at these levels
Deliver. Yeah. That's why anybody who has Mahomes, right? If Mahomes was on the Eagles, fuck everybody else on the team. I'm probably going with the Eagles because Mahomes is that playmaker.
Yeah, and seeing what's great about this, like we talk about how fighters, make matchups, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a good matchup because the Eagles have a star running back. So the Chiefs defense literally needs to somehow contain this guy.
Mm-hmm.
If they can contain this guy to under 100 yards, 1 touchdown, they get to concentrate on the quarterback for the Eagles, who's fucking brilliant as well. Like, he's really good. But if it's almost like
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts. If it's almost like saying, hey, we're going to force you to beat us. It's almost like DDP saying, well, if I can outstand your jabs, I'm going to get this dub.
Mm-hmm.
You bring something else to the table. You bring something else to the table. I got to watch out for that.
As long as I perform to the best of my abilities, you're going to have a hard time beating me.
And so on the flip side of it, they just know Patrick Mahomes just give him the ball in the fourth quarter and give him a shot. But that's why you watch this fight. That's why you watch the Super Bowl. One chance, one opportunity. That's why I think I love the UFC so much as well, because both of these sports, you only get one opportunity.
It's one and done.
It's not like NBA. It's not like
not tournament best of 7.
Right. We're like, all right. No, that's it. That's it. Let's find out.
To that point of saying, I was gonna say this. Mahomes, he's got that equivalent, because if you're saying the Eagles, right, are the guys who just have to play to the best of their abilities and they'll win, right? The other team has to basically. Well, the Eagles have to beat themselves, right? You're saying Eagles have to beat themselves.
Too. That's very key, and it's almost like the Eagles. They got to be up by 14 points, because if they make it a close game, 3 to 7 points, you just know.
Then you're playing a guy who's got that ultimate knockout power. He's like the Francis Ngannou. Mahomes is like the Francis Ngannou.
Yeah.
He's got the one shot, the knockout, the equalizer.
Yeah. I would say John Jones. He's like the John Jones. Yeah.
Yeah, but the equalizer, because he can always deliver, right? He can always knock you out. Like with 1 second left on the clock, he could score that winning touchdown. Just he could knock you out. Like there's always a chance to win. But I wanted to tie it in and say this. I guess I was leaning towards Strickland, right? But the more I think about it, the more I do think it's an uphill battle for Strickland. The more I think, too, on DDP's side, right? He's the guy who just has to basically do his thing, and Sean Strickland's going to have a hard time beating that, right? Because a guy who mixes it up, just take that alone, mixes it up versus a guy who teeps and jabs. You know, all the guy who mixes it up has to do is just mix it up. And this guy who teeps and jabs is going to have to figure out, how do I beat you? I think Sean has to fight for every second of every round, and DDP is going to have the bigger moments in the fight.
Let me ask you this. Do you think, I hate to say this, bro, this is bad. Do you think Sean Strickland could beat Bilal Muhammad?
I think he probably could.
See, I don't, because I think Bilal Muhammad is literally just a smaller version of DDP.
You know, if Bilal's going to be shooting in Marab style on takedowns and be like bouncing around like an Energizer bunny, I mean, shit, Strickland's going to have a hard time. Somebody who can press Strickland up against the cage, I think that's how you beat Sean. You pressure him up against the cage, you shoot in on his legs, and you get Sean flat-footed and stuck there, and Sean will start to unravel.
Right. And you take some of the damage, you realize you're going to take some damage, right?
Yeah.
And I think you got to have kind of be like, man, we were so impressed with Yuri, remember?
Mm-hmm.
He was on that line, dog. It was like, whoa, he's countering it, and then he catches. You got to imagine someone comes and brings that game in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we see, if DDP was able to add that element to his fight game.
Or I would love to see Sean put some fucking power on his shots like Yuri did. Put some fucking sting on those things. Let us see a different you. Let us see you slip something and hit him hard.
Yeah, I want to see some fucking haymakers.
Yeah, let's see it. That's what I'm kind of calling for. On top of mixing it up, Sean, show us something new.
Yeah.
Hit that motherfucker, you know?
Yeah.
Enough with the jabbing and shit. We've seen it already.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, you still have it in the tool belt, right?
It's there, but mix it up.
There, yes. Let's throw some hooks. Let's throw some uppercuts, some fucking elbows. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I like too about DDP. If you go back and watch it, I think he did it 3 times. He did spinning back fists.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You got to.
Yeah, you know, and so that was like, but none of that. Sean Strickland's bland.
He's a little fucking vanilla, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a little bit vanilla.
Yeah, we need to spice that motherfucker up, dog. Like, throw some tapatio in that shit, bro. Like, you know.
And being so vanilla, bro, you mix it up a little bit, and it's gonna work. Because, like, DDP's probably expecting... I know DDP's a smart guy, so not really. But on average, if you're super basic and you mix it up, the guy's expecting you to be basic. Mm-hmm. So you mix it up, it's gonna work for you most likely. If his coaches aren't telling him that, he needs to find a new team.
True.
If we see the same old Sean,
and it's almost like, you know, Sean loves being that type of guy though. Like it's almost like his signature, and he doesn't want to get away with it in a
stubborn mule who still gets wins.
Yes. Yes, but he doesn't want to evolve, and it's very like these guys at the top, they are evolving.
It's gonna catch up to you.
It will catch up to you. Yeah. And I think that's why people have so many questions about Alex Pieta. And I know we're going off topic here in a little bit longer. People are questioning his ground game, right? Mm-hmm. If you look at a lot of his training videos that they're leaking, he's practicing his ground game. I love that about Alex.
I love it too.
That's what you want in a champion, bro. If we were to look at John Jones, we know he could handle himself on the ground. Mm-hmm. Anderson Silva, we knew he could handle himself on the ground. Islam, we know he could handle himself on the ground.
Yeah.
Ilya, he got a good ground game. We know Marab can get a ground game. We know Pantoja has a ground game. All these guys at the top all got that ground game. Mm-hmm. It's just that one trick pony it will get you to the dance. But it won't get you fucking...
I mean, DDP too. DDP, we know he can get it done on the ground. He submitted Izzy.
Exactly.
He submitted Robert Whitaker.
Well,
or TKO'd him. Yeah, he TKO'd him.
But it will get you to the dance.
But on the ground,
it won't get you the Haina, though.
Yeah, it's not going to get you the Haina necessarily.
You're going home with the Shorty.
Yeah.
You're going home with the...
You might get criticized here and there, but hey, listen. You're going to be getting those wins.
You're going home with the torta that night.
Yeah, Pereira, hopefully he gets the job done, but I don't know. Ankalaev's a hard fight.
Hey, that's why we.
Who
That's why
you
we
leaning with towards in that
Well,
one?
I'm going. I can't bet against Pieta, bro.
You can't bet against Pereira.
No, and I think in Ankalaev, he likes to stand and bang too. He's not some like, oh, I always take him down.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good ass fight.
That's gonna be a great fight. There's
Yeah.
a lot of good fights coming up. A lot of good fights coming up.
All right. All right. All right. That's the show today, boys.